Hello everyone, welcome to Split Second. My name is Sequeira and I will be taking you through today's match. Before starting, we at Split Second want to thank everyone for your constant support and suggestions on all social media. You can continue to support us by sharing and liking this video, subscribing if you haven't yet, or by becoming a patron. We'd also like to remind you guys to try and support your local game store by buying MTG products there. Help keep your store alive. Finally, while the current global situation continues, we will be providing everyone with high-quality digital gameplay rather than paper magic. Now, it's time to get into the fun. This week we're playing our special monthly match, this time around featuring decks that our patrons made. I am piloting Aajimu's Ode to a Creepy Child Aminatou. Luís is piloting Diogo Liebner's Grixis Reanimator with Kraum Vial Smasher. David is piloting Tsunami's Kenrith, which he calls 5-crawler Grenzo, and Baal is piloting TJ Rapp's Najeela. Let's look into our starting hands. As you might have gotten used to, Luís is starting this week. Yup, we're rolling dice to check who starts and he keeps crushing us. However, he had to mulligan down to 5. In his hand, he has 2 lands, cEDH Brass and a basic swamp. Vampiric Tutor can be used with Notion Thief to find himself a wheel and take out our hands, to get some ramp on top of his library or for card advantage. The Thief is also pretty decent to screw my Aminatou's plus ability and stopping David from sitting back and drawing cards with Kenrith. Chain of Vapor is just overall versatile interaction. Luís sent Pyroclasm and Dak Phaeton to the bottom of his library. David's hand has some potential thanks to the combination of Auriok Salvagers and Demonic Tutor, which could be used to get LED and combo for infinite mana. He has 3 lands, Taiga, Bayou, and Exotic Orchard. He can ramp using Utopia Sprawl. Fauna Shaman is an excellent toolbox should David find creatures he won't mind discarding. Baal kept a ridiculous amount of mana potential thanks to Wooded Foothills, a Windswept Heath, and Basic Plains, combined with Sol Ring and Mana Crypt. He has Preordain as a cantrip and Tainted Pact for either Thassa's Oracle lines or, if necessary, to find himself a card draw engine at the risk of a few good cards. He can also use the Tainted Pact to get himself an early Derevi and try to win through Najeela's infinite combats. My hand is fairly versatile. Swords to Plowshares and Massacre can help deal with Najeela and Kenrith's boards. The swords can be used for a big reanimated creature from Luís if necessary. I have Time Twister and a Demonic Tutor, which could be used to get myself something like a Narset Parter of Veils and remove everyone's hands. Polluted Delta, Swamp, and Hallowed Fountain can cover my 3 colors. Let's see how things play out. We're all ready for Luís to set the tone for the match. He plays a Command Tower and passes. Not too oppressive. David plays a Bayou and immediately enchants it with an Utopia Sprawl for white. A faster start than Luís. He lets Baal get to it. And get to it, Baal does. He plays a Wooded Foothills fetching for a Steam Vents, which he puts into play untapped. He then plays a Mana Crypt into a Sol Ring into his commander Najeela. 5 mana on turn 1, not too shabby. With that, he passes to me. On my turn, I mimic Luís with a 1-lander, Sea of Clouds, before passing. For his second turn, Luís plays a Swamp and passes. We all wonder if he's preparing himself to interact with Baal. David plays an Exotic Orchard and casts a Fauna Shaman. I respawn and cast Swords to Plowshares on Baal's Najeela. She gets exiled and Baal gains 3 life. David then casts an Elvish Mystic, creating a pretty decent board for himself and secretly ramping up towards his Salvagers. He passes to Baal. Baal starts the turn by winning the Crypt roll. He then casts a Preordain, scrying both to the top and drawing 1. He plays an untapped Blood Crypt, recasts his commander, ready to swing at us. He passes the turn. On my turn, I play a Polluted Delta and crack it for an Underground Sea, choosing not to wait in case Stifle effects come around. No one has a plane to make my Massacre free, so I pass the turn without having to worry about whether or not I should cast it. Starting his turn, Luís plays a cEDH Brass. He casts a Toxic Deluge, paying 2 life for it. The Deluge resolves and all creatures are sent to the graveyard. After this, he passes. It's David's turn and he plays a Taiga. He follows it up with a Devoted Druid. We wonder if he was going for a Vizier or Remedies plan as he lets Baal get to business. Baal loses the Crypt roll. He then plays a Windswept Heath. He casts a Skull Clamp and passes to me, tired of seeing his commander die over and over again. On my turn, I play an untapped Hallowed Fountain and cast a Narset Parter of Veils, seriously considering my Time Twister plan. I downtick her and reveal a Mana Crypt, which is a nice bump in mana. I cast it and pass my turn. Luís keeps up with his moderate turns. He plays a Baleful Strix, not drawing due to my Narset. He passes with some mana up. David plays a Scrubland, not missing a single land drop. He then casts his commander, Kenrith, a painfully versatile creature. Baal cracks his fetch for a breeding pool in response. With nothing else to add, David passes to Baal. Baal loses the crypt roll again. He keeps up with his plan to save Najeela for more pressing turns by playing a Plains and casting a Feyburrow Elder. He goes ahead and equips it with a Skull Clamp, just in case another wipe comes his way. With that, he passes to me. To counteract Baal's crypt rolls, mine comes with a win. I play a City of Brass and, seeing as Kenrith could prove problematic with Fauna Shaman in the graveyard, I decide to play a free Massacre. In response, David activates his Devoted Druid twice and puts a +1/+1 counter on Kenrith. Baal draws one card from Skullclamp due to Narset. Because Luís has hinted at interaction during the Massacre, I decide not to go deep into the Time Twister plan yet. Instead, I cast Demonic Tutor, getting myself a Gilded Drake. I downtick Narset to 1 loyalty, revealing a Mox Diamond. I play it, discarding a Swamp, and follow that up with Gilded Drake. Baal counters it with a Force of Will, exiling a Swan Song. After that play, I decide that 2 Walkers might give David more trouble than just 1, so I cast Aminatou and use her to blink the Narset. I lower her again, finding myself an Oath of Kaya. Finally, I can go to my end step, and Luís casts Vampiric Tutor for a Mana Crypt. On his turn, Luís plays a Mana Crypt and then casts Kraum. I can see where this is going, but it doesn't look pretty regardless. He attacks Narset, taking her out and my Time Twister plan with it. He passes to David. David starts his turn by casting a Demonic Tutor for a Lion's Eye Diamond and casting it. Kraum triggers and Luís draws a card. We wonder if he might go all in this turn, but he is 1 mana short from winning through Kenrith's Reanimation. Instead, he chooses to attack my commander, taking her out as well, and then passing. Baal finally wins his own Mana Crypt roll. He then casts a recently drawn Limdol's Vault, looking to find himself the win con to match his Tainted Pact. David counters it with a Pyroblast, stopping Baal's plans short. After that, Baal plays an Ancient Tomb and passes once again, choosing not to cast Najeela because of my Oath of Kaya. I go into the 50-50 with Crypt roll, losing it. Then I cast a Time Twister, seeing as nothing in my hand does anything. David considers cracking the LED, but eventually chooses to keep a combo piece in play. I cast a Mystic Remora just in case anyone has free counter magic. Kraum triggers, drawing Luís a card. Finally, I cast my Oath of Liliana, forcing Luís and David to sacrifice their commanders. With that, I hand my turn. Luís starts off with a winning crypt roll, which isn't too bad. He then plays an Underground Sea and casts a Soul Ring, feeding my first Remora draw. He ends his turn pretty open to interact with other players, now that everyone has a fresh hand. David plays a Windswept Heath and gets a Tropical Island, not too happy that he's the only one without a crypt. He then transmutes a Muddle the Mixture to find himself a Dranith Magistrate, which he casts, stopping all of us from casting our commanders. Now David is policing all the fun. He ends the turn with a Findorn Elves. Baal also wins his crypt roll. He plays a Cascading Cataracts and then activates it to cast Birds of Paradise and his newly found Feyburrow Elder. After that, he casts Aggravated Assault, not afraid to have it up and ready. I draw a card to the Remora and Baal passes the turn. On my upkeep, I lose another crypt roll. I pay for the Remora to try and get some extra food. I draw my first card for turn and, ridiculously lucky, I find a Terminus, which I reveal to the table and cast for its miracle cost. Terminus sends everyone's creatures to the bottom of their libraries. On my main phase, I just play a Command Tower, following it up with a Grim Monolith before passing. Luís loses his crypt roll as well. He plays a Swamp and passes, alluding to not the best Time Twister of his life, while keeping his mana up for our stuff. He's also fairly threatened by the Oath and Aminatou's ability to blink it, so we're at a standoff where he can kill my commander if I play her first, and vice versa. David starts his turn by casting a Reclamation Sage, looking for his best target and choosing Aggravated Assault since it's a combo piece. Baal comments that my Oath could be stopping David from playing, and David interjects that it doesn't feel like that. I'm personally grateful that the Remora wasn't even up for discussion. David plays a tapped Stomping Ground, passing his turn. Baal breaks the collective losing streak from the crypt rolls by getting a winning one. He finally goes ahead and casts Najeela as a Lamb for Slaughter to see if Luís finally moves in with Kraum. He equips her with Skull Clamp, daring me to take her out before passing. I win the crypt roll as well, following Baal's lead. Also on my upkeep, I choose to make sure the Remora doesn't go. Then, I play a Scrubland and cast Aminatou since Najeela's board value can outgrow my ability to keep my Planeswalker in play. I use her to blink my Oath, forcing everyone to sacrifice a creature. As Skullclamp's trigger goes to the stack, Luís responds with the Notion Thief, making Baal's sacrifice feel bitter and my Remora keep pretty much worthless. Luís draws 2 cards. We go to my end step and Oath gives me a 2/2 zombie to protect Aminatou on the ground. On his upkeep, Luís once again loses the crypt roll. He's been very unlucky so far. He plays an island and casts Kraum, ready to make me pay for my commander cast. He attacks Aminatou with him and I exile it with Anguished Unmaking. On his second main phase, Luís plays Vial Smasher so that I won't be able to force him to sacrifice the Notion Thief with my Oath. He discards a Niv Mizzet to hand size. David starts his turn by playing a Forbidden Orchard. Baal and Luís joke that I'm going to be fuming about that land existing, and they're not wrong. He then casts a Finale of Devastation where X equals 4, and we know where that is going. Baal passes priority. Brandon and I figure that maybe he could draw a Force of Will from my Remora, so I choose to draw a card with the trigger. This makes it so that the Notion Thief replaces my draw with a draw for Brandon. However, he didn't find anything, so the Auric Salvagers enter the battlefield. He activates LED, discarding his hand and adding 3 white mana. He activates the Salvager's ability, targeting the LED. In response, Baal dons the Savior Hat and casts a Silence. LED goes back to David's hand, but he can't cast anything else. David goes to his end step and Baal plays Limdol's Vault again. He loses 5 life in total, and we wonder if he's just going for interaction. I secretly cry about all the Remora triggers I can't resolve. On his turn, Baal wins the crypt roll and simply passes. I wonder if he has a Cyclonic Rift ready for me. Not ideal, but at least he didn't go for a consultation win. On my upkeep, I managed to win another crypt roll while I let my fish finally die. It was a good one, but it was no longer doing anything for me. I go ahead and play a Mana Confluence before casting a Tainted Pact. I exile cards until I find my missing combo piece, a Felidar Guardian. I activate Aminatou to blink my Monolith and then cast Felidar Guardian, blinking Aminatou once again. The table dialogues for a bit and things resolve since I have no outlet on the battlefield. I cast a Corpse Knight and Baal counters it with a hard cast Force of Will, which he thought of using on the Guardian. Losing an outlet, I blink the Monolith yet again and cast an Oath of Teferi, blinking Oath of Liliana just in case there is more interaction coming, especially considering that David has the combo at the ready. I can use Aminatou a second time and I use her to blink Felidar Guardian and the Guardian blinks Aminatou once more. This way I can blink any other permanent with Aminatou once, then use her second Planeswalker ability on Felidar to blink her and go infinite from there. I blink Green Monolith for extra mana and then cast Oath of Kaya, using it to kill the Notion Thief just in case. Then, since no one has any responses, I blink the Oath of Kaya to kill everyone on the table and take this match. Thanks for following us through this match, everyone. Aajimu's Aminatou blinked its way to victory. We'd like to start the credits by thanking our current patrons and especially Izanagi, Carneiro, Troy, Stefan, TJ Rapp, Mike Purr, Aajimu, and Iglegal, our stack breakers. If you want to support us, you can do so by liking this video, subscribing, or becoming a patron yourself. If you want to go through other Commander adventures, click one of the videos on the right. If you want to talk with us about our games or other EDH related matters, join us on Discord. Come with us again next week for a new set of commanders and more decisive plays. See you all then.